Inside Santa Clara, the temperature of practice changed before the first hit. Christian McCaffrey stayed off the field, and everything happening around that absence carries more weight than any reassuring phrase. At the same time, a few internal battles started revealing answers, weaknesses, and decisions the staff may not be able to delay much longer. Faithful, lock in. We're reading the absences, the rep distribution, and the individual matchups as clues from a team trying to protect its ambitions without showing every card. For daily coverage of what's really moving behind the scenes with the Niners, subscribe to 49 ERS Express right now. One absence hangs over every conversation in Santa Clara: Christian McCaffrey. He did not practice and has now gone more than a week without suiting up. The language around the situation has been tightness, but during camp, the calendar speaks too. When a player this important cannot return to his routine, every missed day adds weight to the concern. But faithful, this is the part nobody should ignore. The read coming out of practice is that something more persistent could be involved, possibly tendinitis. The length of the absence is feeding that suspicion, although the team has not released that diagnosis. The Nick Bosa comparison is still uncomfortable because his issue was also described in softer terms at first. And McCaffrey already knows what this kind of condition can cost. He missed 8 games in 2024. The injury may not sound as frightening as a tear, but a running back's workload can turn any recurring limitation into a serious problem. Even if McCaffrey plays in the opener, as the observer expects, that does not mean he will be ready for his usual workload. There is a massive difference between being available and being the McCaffrey who forces a defense to rewrite its plan. The offensive picture tightened even more when Dominick Puni missed practice with a concussion he apparently suffered the day before. Without him, the line did not have a guard who looked ready to give the offense starting-level stability. That connects the two absences. If the 49ers want to manage McCaffrey intelligently, they need clean running lanes and fewer plays where every touch becomes an early collision. Puni is part of that protection. My demand is not that either player rush back. It is that this organization treat depth like an immediate need. The 49ers can protect McCaffrey and Puni now, but they cannot pretend the players behind them are ready. The quiet on the practice field already exposed the priority. Protecting the engine of this offense starts with building real support around him. The moment Puni came out of the equation, the coaching staff received an answer that was difficult to dress up. Carver Willis opened at left guard and struggled so badly to hold his ground that Connor Colby took over midway through practice. It did not look like a normal August rotation. It looked like an emergency correction. Willis could not anchor against the bull rush from stronger defensive tackles. His college background at offensive tackle may explain part of it. Everything happens faster inside, and contact arrives with direct power. There is technique to develop, but Brock Purdy cannot become part of that experiment once the games count. If Colby, who is not inspiring much confidence either, already looks like the alternative, the reps are exposing real urgency at guard. The defensive side paid a physical price too. CJ West left practice early with what appeared to be a head-related issue. Grayson Halton did not participate because of an ankle injury. Within a few hours, the interior depth that was supposed to bring force became another part of the roster getting tested by absences. That brings Vita Vea back into the conversation. The report says San Francisco contacted Tampa Bay about his availability. It does not put Vea on a flight to the Bay Area. It shows the front office opened a door. The belief that the 49ers made a low offer remains speculation, but it raises a fair question. How far would John Lynch go for a defensive tackle who could change the weight of this front? I would make a serious push, with a firm limit. Vea would be an impact addition, but turning camp concern into a blank check would mean losing control. First, the 49ers need to understand where West and Halton stand. Then they need to decide whether Tampa's price fits a championship window that still requires resources at other positions. The clock will not wait for every answer to arrive together. The offensive line showed weakness, the defensive line lost bodies, and the phone has apparently already connected the two front offices. This is the kind of sequence where a quiet inquiry can disappear quickly, or become the deal that reorganizes the entire front. While both lines were asking for help, the cornerback battle started to look like a competition over who could provide fewer reasons to worry. Renardo Green was flagged twice for holding Mike Evans, once on a deep ball, then again in the end zone. After the second flag, Green walked over to the volunteer official and argued the call. I understand the frustration. Camp is physical, and no defender likes losing a rep to a flag. But Green is fighting for a job. Arguing does not fix late hips or erase a pattern the officials saw twice. His strongest response has to come on the next snap, with clean technique. Jack Jones did not take advantage. Jones lives on risk. He sees opportunities and can intercept passes, but he also opens the door to explosive plays. This time, Deebo Samuel beat him deep. That adds to the instability of a player who has not shown that his splash plays consistently cover the cost of his mistakes. Then there is the name that may deserve more attention than he is getting: Darrell Prysock. The evaluation from practice has Prysock ahead of both of them. That is a performance read, not a decision announced by the coaches, but the staff has to be willing to let the reps change the hierarchy. Draft status, experience, and expectations cannot protect anybody when another corner is executing better. One behind-the-scenes detail changes this race. Every Green or Jones mistake makes a steady Prysock rep more valuable. If both keep losing ground, Prysock does not need a cinematic play every day. He needs to be the defender who does not make the unit pay for his impulses. The faithful have every right to demand a more disciplined secondary because January punishes exactly this kind of hesitation. A late hand, a bad gamble, one lost step on a vertical route. My answer to the critics is simple. Do not bury Green or Jones in August, but stop treating the starting spot like it belongs to them. If you set the lineup today, who starts? Green, Jones, or Prysock? Make your choice in the comments without hiding behind the most familiar name. This competition can still turn. After this practice, though, Prysock walked away without the noise of flags and deep balls allowed. Sometimes the most revealing movement on a depth chart happens when the quietest candidate lets everyone else make the mistakes. After all that concern, the offense finally delivered an image worth holding on to. Mike Evans taking over practice and beginning to turn his connection with Brock Purdy into something visible. Evans had missed roughly a week with a quad strain. Now he looks healthy again, and the difference showed up at every level of the field. Evans drew both holding penalties on Ronaldo Green, one deep and another in the end zone. Then he beat Green on a crossing route for 30 yards. During one-on-ones, he got Mamador Lunor with a back shoulder fade. In 11-on-11, he won again on a curl. This was a sequence built on body control, spatial awareness, and growing trust with Purdy. Evans did not arrive to decorate the roster. The 49ers need him threatening the boundary, deep ball, and contested catches. If this chemistry keeps developing, Purdy gains a target who can win without massive separation. For an offense that may need to manage McCaffrey, that outside solution goes from luxury to central weapon. What happened in this practice also narrowed the distance between expectation and execution. Purdy put the ball where Evans could use his experience, and Evans rewarded that trust over and over. The more interesting development behind the scenes may be Zhaun Stribling working mostly with the starters after being dropped to the second unit on Saturday. His best catch gained 15 yards over the middle after he beat Lenore on a dig. Stribling still does not create consistent separation against man coverage, but he attacks the ball above defensive backs and crosses the field at full speed without fearing the contact waiting for him. His usage helps reveal the plan. Stribling is not working on special teams, while Deebo returns punts and kickoffs and handles running back style assignments with the starters. That does not make their roles official, but it suggests Stribling is being prepared for a meaningful offensive presence, possibly even a starting job. The staff is testing different functions without giving away the play. Then we reach the least flashy player in the group, and maybe the most reliable player in camp, Jake Tongs. He led the starters with 3 catches. Tongs is not the most explosive target, but he finds space, gives Purdy a safe window, and secures the ball when the quarterback comes his way. Trust grows through that simple repetition. Reach the right spot and do not waste the opportunity. Together, those 3 create a collective answer. Evans brings physical presence. Stribling adds courage and range. Tongs delivers reliability. They are not versions of the same target. They give Purdy distinct solutions against the coverage. The challenge is carrying this picture into practices where the defense wins more matchups. One dominant day from Evans is exciting, but this offense needs that presence consistently. Stribling will have to survive defensive adjustments. Tongs will be tested when opponents take away the first read. Still, the offensive picture ended much better than it began. McCaffrey's absence exposes vulnerability. A healthy Evans, Stribling back with the starters, and a steady Tongs show Purdy building alternate routes before the season forces the 49ers to use them. Practice left two messages living inside the same building. Health and depth are still squeezing this roster, but Purdy is finding answers while a few position battles finally lose their disguise. McCaffrey and Puni require patience. Both lines require action. The cornerback race requires merit. Evans, Stribling, and Tongs offer the offensive path that does not depend on one player solving everything. Faithful, let me know where you stand. Are you choosing patience while the starters recover, or are you demanding an immediate move from John Lynch? Pick a side in the comments and subscribe to 49 ERS Express. In Santa Clara, the next adjustment could reveal more than the next injury report.